Let me take a guess. You're currently not segmenting your welcome flow. In fact, I would say you probably don't even know how welcome flow segmentation looks like. But let me tell you, this is not because you're behind. It's actually because not a lot of people talk about it yet. That's why today I want to show you how to set up a personalized welcome flow step by step in order to get ahead of 99% other brands' welcome flows. You know me guys, let's not waste any time. The goal is to send out flow emails that are personalized to the recipient, and basically the core emails around that should stay the same for every recipient, but you want to have personalized elements where it makes sense. Today's example we're using is a random clothing brand, and the personalization we want to have is male or female, because of course when you're a clothing brand and you're offering clothes for both genders, it's of course really helpful to know which gender people are. And if you ask for that in the pop-up and you personalize the welcome flow like that, you basically have really valuable information that you can use throughout the customer journey. But I'm going to go into that in a second. All right, we're now in Shopify, to be specific in Alia. And this is basically the place where we host the pop-ups for our clients. We're now just going to quickly set up the micro commit. We don't need to worry about anything else here. We're just going to click next. And then we have a lot of things to choose from here. And basically we just want to skip most of the stuff. It asked me to upload a logo. I just took the first photo I could find, and unfortunately it was Mark Zuckerberg. So let's just move on. So we really don't need to worry about any of that right now. What we need to worry about right now is this quiz right here. And there we, of course, we said it before. We want to ask for the gender. What's your gender? And then we say male and we say female, of course. If there are more genders that I'm not aware of, I don't want to go into detail on that today. It's just for the purpose of showing this video, so don't get me for that. Now it's asking for client-specific information. Of course, we don't want to show that. And then it asks for a reward, or rather, it asks if you want to have a reward. I personally always like to click no reward because the reward should be in the inbox. Different opinions on this, but doesn't really matter right now. Smart trigger, I already went over this in the last video. I would recommend you always have it on because it's just better for actually converting those people into subscribers. Now you can see right here, that's the thing we're asking for. What's your gender, male or female? So we just set up the micro commit, and now we're going to transition to Klaviyo. So I'll show you how it looks in Klaviyo. So now in Klaviyo, we're in our demo account. And one thing I quickly wanted to show you is how it will look like in Shopify. You basically select, I just went to the segment builder right now just to show you the properties. Properties about someone, and then you go down most of the times at the bottom. What's your gender equals, and then you select female or male. And I actually set up this property manually, which you should not do. You should not set up a custom property because then it just might not work. Normally you would set up this pop-up in Alia or in Shopify, and then you would not set it live, but just in the test mode, in the preview, trigger all the different properties with your email address. So then the properties will actually be assigned to your email address and will be visible in Klaviyo. So that's the way you do it. That's the way you trigger it to appear in Klaviyo. You should not set it up manually. Really important. All right, now heading over to flows. We want to set up the welcome flow just for the purpose of this video. Build your own. And let's just say welcome flow. Doesn't really matter. Create flow. I do want to tell you that this is not the way you set up the welcome flow right now. It's just for the sake of this tutorial. Let's just say email list, save. Of course, you want to have profile filters and stuff like that. Not important today. All right, next thing we want to do is set up a conditional split where we're basically asking for this properties about someone, and then we go down here. What's your gender equals, let's say male. Then we save it. So now you can see the conditional split asks for the people that clicked male and the people that clicked female. If people clicked male, they will be directed down the yes path. And if they clicked female, they will be directed down the no path. So now the way this works is you want to keep the general email structure pretty much the same, the email length, the time delays and stuff like that. But you want to have gender specific product displays and collections to shop, because this is a great way of personalization when you have people going down the yes path. So the path of people who clicked male, you can show them a lot of products for men. And then you can also show the no path, so the female path, a lot of products for women. Also, one thing you might A/B test, you might want to try out, is to use different copy and colors depending on male or female. But of course, specific colors for specific genders are always a bit cliche, and also the copy. So make sure you use it with a grain of salt. You try it out maybe, but I wouldn't overdo it. Now, what can we actually personalize with this method? We can, of course, as I just showed you, male versus female. And then we can also personalize for the main problem or challenge they're facing. For example, if you have a skincare brand and you have different products for age-related stuff, for example, wrinkles and stuff like that, or acne-prone skin, or redness, or whatever you can offer. You can basically segment for a lot of different things here. And then also core interests. So if your brand really relies on many different areas, for example, you're selling sports equipment, there are just a lot of different hobbies and interests that people have. You, of course, want to make sure that you're filtering for different categories so that you're not showing someone who likes soccer, Pilates equipment or something. Now you can also filter for age, or rather segment for age, if that's somehow relevant for your brand. You can also filter for the main outcome they desire. So if your product offers different outcomes and different transitions, basically, you can also ask people what they want to achieve with the product and then basically segment from that. Of course, I encourage you to come up with many different ways, and you can also test that. You can basically run A/B tests, which one works better. So let's say the category male versus female and core interest is really important for you. Then you might as well just test if male versus female or core interest works better for converting subscribers. Now, really important, do it now. And I really mean it the way I say it, because only very few brands actually use this technique right now. And it's really a great opportunity for higher conversion rates, especially as a brand scales. So of course, if you're a brand that's barely doing 6 figures, it might be worth to set it up, because as you see, it's set up once and forget. But really important it becomes for brands that are scaling and that are really driving traffic to the website right now, that are getting a bigger customer base. Make sure you set it up once, and basically you can then forget. Of course, if you run A/B tests and stuff like that, you might want to change it. But overall, it can really sit there and leave untouched. A lot of you might be like, oh yeah, I've seen the video now, I've seen the tutorial, I might want to do it in the future. But no, you've seen the tutorial right now, you've seen me doing it step by step, and you can just follow along. And if you have any questions, you can just leave a comment down below. I'll answer as soon as possible. So make sure you actually set it up. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, you can of course also apply these personalization techniques to all other flows as well. So for example, you have the micro commit as male or female, and then you can basically include dedicated product displays or sections in other flows as well, because you have the data. It's great to work with that as well. So let's say, for example, post-purchase flows, abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, etc. If you filter, if you personalize and segment in those flows as well, and you're sending someone who just purchased specific upsell or cross-sell flows and upsell or cross-sell emails with those elements in it, it's really helpful to know their gender and to actually segment for that, because you will be way more likely to actually upsell someone or cross-sell someone when you're sending them the stuff that's actually relevant to their gender. All right, guys, I know it's been a bit of back and forth between tools today, but if you have any questions, just feel free to leave them down below. I will answer your questions. And if you want more Klaviyo tutorials like this, you can just click the playlist up here.